Well, welcome to the Isthmian show, and we're here for the next 2 hours. And of course, today we're going to be we're in a different venue for a start, but it's going to be
get tea and coffee here, don't you?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Hopefully, we are going to have a couple of hours where we're not going to have any issues, other than me leaving my phone behind the back of the laptop. And of course, we're going to be talking mostly today Thamesmead, of course, and all the issues that have happened there. And I know Keith, to my left, has got quite a lot to say around that situation. So, we will be talking Thamesmead. But of course, first of all, as we always do, what we will do first, we'll just go into the scores from the weekend. And we'll start off then with the Isthmian North, or Bostic North. Bowers and Pitsea 2, Romford 0. In attendance there, 128. Berrytown 3, Tilbury 0. Coggeshall Town 4, Grays Athletic 0. And Pinto, looks like it might be, I think it was probably his debut, and been sent off on his debut.
Yeah, was it 2 yellows, I think? That was a great result, 4-0 at home, though, Dave. Isn't it? I know, they are good at home, but for them, Grays sort of seem to pick a few results up recently, and it's a big win, as much as Bowers is as well. Yeah,
and some big names there, of course, as well. Bantic and Wall scoring as well for Coggeshall, and of course the man himself, Kieran. He's gone back to Grays, I see today as well. So, Great Waker in Rovers 0, Barking 3. Good win for Justin.
Yeah, it is a good win. Yeah, I spoke. He sent me a message in the week. Don't know what it was about, but no, I do. But yeah, it's a good win away from home. Great Waker, and we were talking about this last week with the lads. They seem to have had a good start to the season. Really.
Yeah. Haybridge Swifts 4, Felixstowe and Walton 2. Another win for Julian as well.
Yeah, he's had a great start, in 3 out of 3, I think. And obviously, as we were saying earlier about obviously centre forward moving on today as well.
Yeah, Luke Callender going.
That'd be a big plus for someone to get Luke. Just wonder if maybe Subby might want him back.
Yeah, never know.
Be a big aspect.
Yeah. In the South Central, finished Bedford Sports 0, Marlow 1. Egham Town 0, Waltham Abbey 1. Now, of course, in the other show that we were doing, I don't know if you actually saw it, but we were talking and we were saying about what we reckon the scores were going to be, and I think it was 4s and 5s and
whatever. A big one on that one.
From what Ryan said to me, he said, they didn't play very well, but still could have possibly won by a few more. So.
Didn't get many of them right, did you, Dave?
No, I don't know. I've got to check the books over there, so I will check.
Paul got our result right. It was, not many of the results you've got there.
Oh, there we go. Then I'll start off really badly. Hanwell Town 1, Tooting and Mitcham 2.
I think we all got that one wrong. Thought Hanwell would win, and to be fair, I might have, but they seem to have a bit of revival at the moment, Tooting, and they're pushing themselves right up there.
And of course, then in the South East Division, the only one game in there, Guernsey 3, Haywards Heath 1. Surprise.
Big surprise in one way, that obviously Guernsey are struggling league-wise. They're difficult to beat at home, and as I tried to say before on the show, Dave, it would be Haywards Heath first time going. And sometimes the occasion can take over the actual game itself, and it's a long day, and that could have been it, but they've started very well. Haywards Heath, I've told you before, I thought they were a good side, and I expected them to get something there, but fair play, good result with Tony at Guernsey.
Absolutely. And then into the FA Trophy, AFC Hornchurch 6, Ramsgate 0.
Wow. Do you know what? I thought Hornchurch would be too strong for Ramsgate, but with the way that Ramsgate played, they're fairly direct and they're quite lively up front, I thought it would be a little bit closer. I like Lloyd there. We're going to talk about Ramsgate, obviously. Yeah. But I thought they would have gave them a little bit more of a game. But Hornchurch are a powerful side. They're doing really well in the league as well. So it doesn't surprise me if they do score goals. They've got the firepower up front to score, and obviously they've got them on a really good day.
Looking at that then, so Ashford Town 1, Lewis 2, and I think Lewis were 1-0 down in that game as well.
Yeah. I expected Lewis to win that. They are a strong side away from home though, but it's still a good result. And I think they've got a not a bad draw in the next round as well.
Averley 1, Dunstable Town 0. A real sort of, I don't know. if it was a draw, would people have said that was the right result? Probably. I mean, it was a real sort of. I don't know, people will probably shoot me for this, but I thought it was probably a little bit of a dire game, if I'm honest. I don't think there was much in it one way or the other. They had got an injury very early on. I did see their write-up that said that one of our players, Andy Freeman, went straight through the back of one of theirs. Well, I've seen the video that I'd done, and the bloke falls over, so he didn't go through him. But it was, they had a player sent off very close to the end, but they had a few chances. We did as well. But, it is a case of... we are literally trying our best to improve the team, I suppose, in a way. Bracknell Town 2, Bognor Regis Town 2.
Yeah, I've listened to what you three said on Monday, and I watched it on Friday, and yeah, I thought a couple of years called a draw there. See, Bracknell had a good start, but Bognor were very strong, and it's a very good result for Bracknell at home. But I do fancy Bognor finishing the job off in the week. I think it's tomorrow night. Good game for the neutral, though.
So we're just checking the feed.
Sound for you, yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds it should be working perfectly okay. So we're not too sure why that maybe not working for you. But
people on Facebook can hear us fine, Dave.
Yeah, so it might be the fact that I might need to turn that up a little bit.
Just send a plus over, so it might be right.
Yeah, hopefully we're okay now. So Brentwood Town 3, Winstable Town 1.
That's a really good result for Brentwood. Like I said, we played Winstable the week before. They're big, they're strong, they're direct. And I thought they might cause them some problems, but as we've said before, Brentwood sort of, they hit and miss results. They seem to just not be able to string a load of results together, and but that'll give them, some money in the bank as well, and it'll give them a nice boost.
Burgess Hill Town 1, Worthing 1.
Great result for Burgess Hill. I expected Worthing to win that local derby. I still think Worthing will sort of finish the job off again tomorrow. But it gives Burgess Hill a chance, doesn't it? And to be fair, I think since the caretaker manager's gone in, that they've had a little bit of a turnaround in results. So, that could help them as well with a little bit of confidence.
This one, I suppose, surprised me maybe a little bit, but then again, I suppose in the different divisions they are, you probably would have said maybe not. But Canvey Island, Neil, Brighton C1.
No, I fancied Brighton C. They're solid. They're still, they seem to grind results out. And rightly so, they are a league above. And like I said, if we're coming to our result when we played, the teams are a league above for a reason. But it seems a close game. But Brighton C always seem to be able to, grind results out when they need to, and they've done it. Obviously, I weren't there. I haven't really read the report if it was convincing 1-0. I know you don't, but Canvey a good side, so it seems as tight as it is, mate. Yeah.
Chipstead 2, Berkhamsted 1.
They're on a good run, Chipstead. Really good run. And I don't know if I expect them to win the game, but anyone that's been to Chipstead, to go there and get a result is difficult. It's difficult normally surface and so on. So home advantage is obviously got in the win.
Just look up there, just as the phone goes into lock mode. Dorking 2, Sevenoaks 1. Yeah,
Sevenoaks seem to put a fight up there. I fancied Dorking winning. Again, league above, and had a good start to the Prem. But they've gone over there, Sevenoaks, and put in a good performance. And I know Mickey well, and I think he would take out the pluses more than the minuses. But for Dorking, his job done, I suppose, isn't it? So
yeah. Jason Pryor getting 2 of the goals there as well. Folkestone Victor 5, Leatherhead 1.
Shocked me that. Not the I thought Folkestone would win, but the way they've won, 5-1 at home to a team in your league. You look for sending offs and so on, but that's a drubbing in the league in a cup.
Haringey Borough 1, Chesham United 1.
Well, Chesham must be sitting there thinking that they should be playing whoever in the FA Cup, didn't they? But if they took one eye off it, looking for that, I don't know.
Is that this Friday?
I'm not sure when it is. It
Friday.
may be, but obviously I've got a replay now, so I don't think Haringey would fancy a replay.
So where does that go then? If I know the league say I'm not sure if it is this Friday or not, but if it was this Friday that they're playing. Where does that run with them with the replay? Because the league would probably turn around and say to them, look, you haven't got to play a game during the midweek, what happens with the trophy? Does that get put after that, or before it? They've got to play it.
They've got to play it, I would think, but I think it doesn't anyway. I don't think the first round's not. I don't think it's next week. But to be fair, Chesham are a good side, so you know they've. I say you expect Harringay to win because they're at home.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still they've still gone there and caught them. I still think people are still saying that we're struggling on Twitter, Dave, for sound.
So the sound should be okay on both of them.
No, Facebook's fine. Everyone's saying
Facebook,
fine.
yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah, for
Someone put it on mute.
No, it should be okay. We'll have a little look.
We're just going to try and sort Twitter sound out for you on the mic.
Hopefully that might not deal with the situation.
Any better, anybody? Can you hear us on Twitter?
I'll flick the button, so hopefully that might be. Hopefully that might be the reason why.
Okay,
we'll find out.
Let's crack on.
But we're doing all right. We're getting there. Okay, so where was we? Harringay. So Herne Bay 2, Whittam 1.
Yeah, I read the report on that. You know, Herne Bay had a few players out as well. What I looked at, but you know, it's a little bit of a journey for Whittam. They've not mostly been down there. Obviously, I've seen a couple of things James has put on as well. They needed to get some games in. I think if you look at Herne Bay, they're a little bit behind as well. But that's it's a nice, good win for them over there. And we travelled to them on Saturday. So
we're still going to try and see why we can't get a little bit more issues for everybody, but hopefully we'll get it sorted.
It's just the mic. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's going to be fine, but someone's just said.
Hopefully that's fine. Let's have a look. Let's see where we are with it.
We're upside down on it.
We're all over the place now, but
don't worry, Facebook. I'll continue.
Yeah, go on, mate. Sing along. It should be right now.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. There we go. A bit on the piss now. Right. Okay. If not, there is a link. If it's not coming through and you can't see this, hear the sound on Twitter, there is a link on there on Twitter from the Facebook one, so you can link into the Facebook one. So
how are they going to know that, Dave? If they can't hear.
Huh? Oh, yeah, true. There you go. There we go.
That's
literally what I just said. Yeah. Okay, so where were we then? Hitchin Town, Neil Hayes and Yedding 1.
Great result, Hayes. You know, they're, to go away to Hitchin and get a result, they'll be able to remember that. So, yeah, no, very good.
Horsham 3, Corinthian Casuals 0. You're having a bit of a tough time, Corinthian Casuals, aren't they?
They are. You know, they've just signed, well, I see him play last week. My forward died on loan at Dartford while on fire. So obviously the thing about not paying's gone out the window this year. So which is interesting. If anyone does want to come and say that, I think I'll show you a tweet. But yeah, no, very good result for Horsham. They're strong. We've got them in a few weeks' time, and I wanted to sort of try and get a watch then. But they'll be happy. They're a strong side at home, though, David. I know we keep saying about home, but you know they've got their AstroTurf down there at Lancing, and yeah, it would have been a difficult journey for them.
Hyde Town 1, Bishop Stortford 2.
Still on a good run, aren't they, Bishop Stortford? To go to Hyde to win. Hyde's a difficult place to go to. But they've hit Bishop Stortford on a good reign of form. If it had been maybe a month ago, I would have fancied Hyde there. But
just a weird thing in it, how a change of manager does that, innit? It just really, turns the whole sort of fortunes around completely.
It doesn't always work. They've heard sort of thing, but have they brought some more players in? I said when we played in pre-season, I thought they were light for that division. Some others have. Sometimes, a different style, a different way, different hearing. It sometimes does make a difference, but obviously, Jamie's took over at the moment and he's doing great guns, so they should be where they are as well.
So I'm just checking to see if there's any people on there with the sound. But Kingstonian 1, Bedford Town 1.
Good result, Bedford. Going to Kingstonian, who do play at Crimson, as we said, and to get a result. So it's, that I think they're still in it. Lee will be happy with that. And I do think sometimes normally when you play against a team a league above, you do normally get one crack at it. And I know they've got home advantage in the week, but I still fancy Kingstonian. Just going back, Dave, to the trophy replay, so obviously some inside information that I get now and again. Obviously the replay for the trophy is tomorrow for Haringey. The FA Cup is Friday the 9th. If they win tomorrow, their trophy game will be week beginning the 12th of November. So thank you very much for that. And that is 100% correct.
Yeah, that's from Isthmian show sources. Lowestoft Town 0, Enfield Town 1. That's a good, long trip and getting the points as well.
Points? Getting
the money, yeah.
Yeah, I thought Enfield would win there, Dave. Lowestoft are having a struggle again this year. It is a long journey to go, and it is it's anyone been to Lowestoft, they normally do get a good crowd. I know last year we used to joke when they said, our crowds are struggling at 450 or whatever. But Enfield are obviously flying at the moment, and I did think they'd win.
This is a shock for me. Morden Tiptree 0, Royston Town 3.
Yeah, obviously, it's not just a little win, is it?
No.
Same as what I was trying to say to you before, you need to have a look, but for some funny reason, Morden normally just seem to struggle in the games you think they're going to win in the FA Cup and Trophy as well, and that is a shock.
Margate 1, Potters Bar Town 2.
Great result. To go away. Obviously, we just said they seem to have a little bit of a wobble, haven't they, Potters Bar?
Yeah, so we still have an issue with that, really, but you carry on.
For them to go down to Margate on the AstroTurf, who are a strong side at home, and get a win is massive. So they'll be over the moon with that. We just go down, go on and go while you're there. I said to them, another result, obviously, with Mersham 2, East Grinstead Town 0. Another one I fancied Mersham getting a result there. I know East Grinstead have got some decent players and have got a few results, but Mersham plays some really good football, and I think knowing Hayden, if they move well, that they would create chances against them. They normally seem to have good cup runs as well, so they've got to be happy with that. Good win for them, and they move forward. I'll wait for you to come back the next one, because this sounds an absolute cracker of a game.
Met Police 2, Carshalton 2.
Yeah, obviously, two teams that are going well. Met Police still look at the FA Cup, and obviously I read in the non-league about obviously the money's basically saved them as well. Good that they haven't just kept one eye on the FA Cup. They knew they would have a tough game at Carshalton. It's going to be hard for them to go down there though on Tuesday. Plastic pitch. Pete's got his team playing so well on it, but you never know. Gavin's a decent manager, and I think they've got good players themselves, so that could go all the way, that game.
When I had Jim sitting there thinking about all this, running this and running the, in the FA Cup as well,
it's got to be. It will be difficult, but because Gavin's took over, it obviously a bit just supporting them, and I see some of the tweets he put when they got through. In the back of your mind, it's going to be, what if I was still there, and so on. But he made his decision, and I think someone can hear.
Let's have a look. Go on. You carry on, mate.
And he made his decision, and the travelling didn't suit him. And obviously he's just looking around for another job now. But he'll be just hoping that they get that they win and do well. When you've been at a club that long, that's all you want to do is make sure that you're that your team. Are we getting it? No, still can't hear.
Yeah, it's very weird why we're not getting any sound on that, because we should be getting sound on that, but just trying to see if we can't maybe change a wire. Carry on. I'll be with.
Carry on. Might as well. Obviously, Mildenhall 2, Greenwich Borough 4. That is a fantastic result for Borough. To go all the way up to Mildenhall and get a result. I think I've said many times that they've got goals in them, but I actually thought they may struggle going to Mildenhall. I thought if they got a draw and brought them back, they'd be happy with it. But actually, to go and win 4-2 is a big result.
Yeah.
So I think they've got a tough draw in the next round, Borough as well. But they could do with the finances, and I think they'll be over the moon with that. I'm just going to wait for you, mate, because your phone's gone. Let's sort out Twitter for people, because there's a lot of people listening in. We want to get it right for the main bit.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get there.
We're only going through results.
Yeah. Right, okay, so where was we up to? Molesley 0, Walton Casuals 1.
Yeah, obviously, Anthony would be happy getting a win at Molesley. No result, I thought it might be a little bit more. I see the nice tweet that the Molesley people put. It would be nice to get them on the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
They could have done with the money. But obviously they've put a good performance up there, and you just hope now they're going to kick on. They didn't have a bad little crowd of 154. I think that'd be one of their biggest crowds of the season. Hopefully they can now, with another manager, push on and try and pick some points up.
Yeah, absolutely. Sittingbourne 1, Wingate Finchley 2.
Yeah, another close game. Obviously, Nicky would be happy going down to Sittingbourne, getting a result. League above, but Sittingbourne are a tough team to beat at the moment, and that that's a good result for them.
Tonbridge Angels 2, Whiteleaf 1.
Yeah, there was a couple of sending offs and that in this, and some penalties. So
3 sendings off.
I spoke to someone that went to the game and said it was maybe the penalties were a little bit harsh as well. But Whiteleaf are a very good side and quick attacking, and Tonbridge are on a good run of form. So I think that mostly been a good game for the neutral to watch.
VCD 1, Leiston 3.
Yeah, mate. The scoreline don't reflect the game, if I'm honest. I said this before. We played really, really well. Their goalkeeper was outstanding. We missed a penalty as well. Charlie, the keeper's made a save. I listened to your show, and a couple of bits that the lads said about obviously youngsters and whatever was true. The front two are a handful. They are a good side, Leiston, but we matched them. Some of the football we played, and we opened them up a lot. And I think I've seen one of the best saves I think I've seen for a long time from the keeper that's got down and made a strong left-hand side from Charlie, and then got up and flicked the rebound away, and it was fantastic. But I was really, as I think I've put on one of my tweets that weren't about something else, that I was disappointed result, but really proud of the performance. The second half, especially the last 25 minutes, we caused havoc. We brought young Malachi Hudson on, who's been out injured for 18 months. And he absolutely tore them to pieces. And if you just go on his Instagram account and you watch, you just see him cutting them to pieces. And he's at the bar, and we've had chances galore. And we had enough chances to win the game. So I'm pleased with that. Disappointed we didn't get through, but sometimes when you play against the top side, it's good to see how far you can come. And we are about where I think we're going to be. And if we play like that, and I keep saying to you how we have done the last few weeks, we ain't going to lose that many games.
No. Well, this one here, this was sound like an absolute humdinger of a game. Whitehawk 2, Harlow 3.
Well, is that the confidence booster that Harlow need? They need to get some results in the league more, I'd say, than the trophy. But Whitehawk, I might be wrong, Dave, but did Harlow beat Whitehawk in the league as well?
I'm not sure.
So I think they may have. I'm not 100% sure, but it just rings a bell to me. But obviously for Danny and the lads to go down there and get a win is great, and hopefully now that will just give them a little bit of a lift, so they can come up and really push on.
Absolutely. I'm trying desperately to try and see if we can't get this to work for you, everybody on Twitter. We'll try again and see if we can't do it by refreshing everything, and see whether or not we can't get it sorted for you.
Don't worry, Facebook. We haven't gone quiet on you.
No, we haven't gone
quiet. We have got a lot to discuss, so we're going to keep going. But just while you're there, obviously we are going to be talking throughout the show. But if you've got anything you want to call in about your team's performance, or you want to ask me and Dave a question, or you want to talk about Thamesmead Town, or if you're part of Thamesmead Town, the number is 0791 243 5005. As long as you're sensible and you want to come and have a chat, you're more than welcome. I know a couple of people are going to ring in for us. Someone's just saying, don't worry about Twitter, Dave. On Facebook.
Don't worry about Twitter. We'll try and get it to work. It will work, trust me. Just a matter of making sure we can do it for everybody.
Here we go, we're nearly back, don't worry. Okay, we are live on Twitter. Can people hear us?
We can hear us on that. There we go. Now, hopefully everybody's can hear us now on Twitter, but we'll find out later. But Harlow, I mean, as you said, I mean, with Danny as well. I mean, do you think that will be a bit of a turning point for him?
Listen, any result gives you confidence. A good result away from in a cup game is massive, and the finances, it takes a bit of pressure off. You can concentrate. It gives a bit of belief. Training Tuesday, Thursday, or whenever they train, will have a little, a bit more spring in their step. You can't beat winning. No. That feeling that you get through the team is massive. So it's only going to be good for them, and hopefully now that they can put that into the league. They played a team at their own level as well in their own league and beat. So if that ain't going to give you any confidence, then I don't know what is.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a quick look then at the tables then. I suppose in the Prem division, it's Tonbridge Angels at the top. They've played 12 with 25. Enfield Town now right behind them after beating them, of course, recently. Played 13 with 24. Dorking played 12 with 23. Bognor played 12 with 21. Lewis played 12 with 21. Worthing have played 10 with 21. And then we've got Potters Bar on 19 and Bishop Stortford on 19. What a difference a few weeks make, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, mate.
At the bottom, Burgess Hill Town, they played 13 with 8. Harlow played 13 with 8. Leatherhead played 9 with 9. Whitehawk played 13 with 11. Haringey Borough played 10 with 11. And Brighton here played 12 with 13. In the North Division, it's Basildon United, they're top. They played 10 with 23. Bowes and Pitsea have played 9 with 19. Averley have played 9 with 19. Heybridge Swiss have played 10 with 18. Bury Town have played 10 with 17. And then just outside, we've got Coggeshall have played 9 with 16. And Grays 10 with 15. And then at the bottom, Town Rangers have played 10 with 4 points. Whittam have played 9 with 4 points. Tilbury have played 9 with 7. And then a little bit of a gap, but then you've got Millwall Town have played 10 with 10. Brentwood Town have played 9 with 10. So I suppose in the Prem, I mean, do you see anybody? I don't know. Do you see anybody else that maybe that you expected to be up there that aren't? Shall we say?
No, not really. Obviously, Worthing are just outside, Dave, and we said that I fancied them being there. Maybe Kingstonian I thought would have a bit more of a push this year, and Margate, I would say as well. But no, listen, the top sides are there. Dorking have done so well, getting themselves third, and obviously Lewis with fifth as well. And you can even look at Potters Bar. So no, we've got that. It's a strong league, and I think that's going to go.
Is that a surprise? Is that a surprise to you though? The likes of Lewis being up there, or
no? Because Lewis are a good side. They're a big club, day. When you're getting 700-800 people through your gate every day, you've got the tools to work with. So no, it's not. They're strong. They've got some good players, good firepower up front, solid at the back with Frankie Chappell and that there. So no, I'm not surprised.
What about
well-run club? Very, very well-run club. Great chairman, Stuart, and the lads over there with Barry and whatever Ken. So no, I'm pleased with them as well.
What about in the north then?
Well, obviously Basildon's a shock. We said that. I haven't watched them play this year. Good to see Bury now in the playoffs. Obviously, I expect Average, but as you said, Coggeshall Town. Is it a surprise? No, not with the players they've signed and obviously backed. Nice to see Grays up there, and obviously Malden. Barking, Canvey, all of them, could be playoff credentials. A little bit surprised at the bottom to see Whittam, Soham, Tilbury, Mildenhall. Not, a little bit shocked there, and obviously Sudbury still. But it's early days, 8, 9, 10 games. It's as you just seen, and we just spoke about the Bishop Stortford. They've won 3 or 4 on the spin and bang, they're right amongst it. So, but you know, they're all there and thereabouts.
Well, here's the battle then. I think this is probably one of the leagues I think you could chuck a hat over, I think. South Central, Waltham Abbey Top played 10 with 24. Bracknell played 9 with 22. Cheshunt played 10 with 21. Hayes and Yeading have played 8 with 19. Marlow 9 with 18. Chipstead 10 with 16. And Tooting and Mitchell have played 11 with 16. At the bottom, Moles have played 9 with 2. Still waiting there for their first win. Egham Town played 10 with 4. South Park played 10 with 4. FC Romania played 9 with 6. And Bedford Sports have played 10 with 8. And then in the South East, it's Cray Wanderers top played 10 with 28. Phoenix played 11 with 20. Hyde Town played 10 with 19. Hastings 7 with 18. VC there played 10 with 18. Whiteleaf have played 8 with 15, and you've got Haywards Heath on 15 and Winsterbourne on 15. At the bottom, Thamesmead have played 7 with 3. Herne Bay have played 8 with 5. Greenwich Borough have played 8 with 6. Three Bridges have played 10 with 7, and Guernsey have played 11 with 9.
Yes, like you said, if you go into the South Central first, you know, there's some big sides at the top there and it's tight. But if you just look at the bottom, no one's being cut away, David. You know, Molesley, South Park, they've all got chances there. In the South East where we're in, obviously, you know, when it's going to happen, but there's quite a few of us that are going to lose 3 points because of the Thamesmead situation. Obviously, then only one going down as well. So that will obviously hot up there, and make a bit of a difference. Obviously, you know, some have still got, because if they haven't played them, it doesn't really make much difference. But yeah, so the league table will be juggled around a little bit more with that, I would think.
Are you surprised at the people that are at the bottom in that league? I mean, Greenwich Borough are down there, which is not somebody you don't often expect to see them down there.
As we said before, and you know, when people were giving their predictions at the beginning of the season, and I said this to you, that everyone had Greenwich Borough in there. People don't know what's sort of from the outside, what's going on at clubs, and obviously they've had a different their chairman obviously left at the end of the year. They had a manager change, and again in pre-season, they've had a complete new side basically going there, and it takes time. And you know, they have, and they're surviving. And to be fair to them, they're surviving. You know, we said before, and it's pointless even talking about their league position now, who's bottom, but Herne Bay is a little bit surprised for me. We go there Saturday, and they're a good side. You know, they've been disrupted with games as well. I think they were a little bit unlucky that teams they were meant to play were either in the FA Cup and then the FA Trophy, and you know, they missed games out there. Obviously, the Ashfords one in that I thought would be going a little bit better. But now they've just signed Dan Parish as well from Thamesmead today, which will add even more firepower to they've got. And you know, we all know that Gary and John over there are very, very good managers and will do well, so they're going to pick up. So I think all the leagues look very strong and tight, and I think it's wait till after Christmas and we'll see where everyone is.
Do you think this is the tightest season so far for a long, long time?
I think it's the most open. I think, if I'm honest, it's the most open. There isn't going to be someone that's just going to run away with them all. Saying that, obviously, Cray's had a great start in our league, but Hastings also got games to catch up. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be sitting there and seeing like the old 100 or plus points with a team maybe winning the league by 20 odd points. I don't think that's going to happen. We've had a couple of people, obviously. Yeah. Ollie's just come in again, just said, hopefully things will be getting better on the pitch for K's. We'll sit with the and hit the playoffs soon. Got to take it game by game. And obviously, Dan Richardson's just come back. Is the Isthmian League missing me? No. As the referee and going, Dan, are you alright? Hope Wales is treating you well.
Yeah.
And it's not too cold down there at the moment, mate. No. Obviously, it's always nice to see you when you pop in. So, of course, we're all missing you. Yeah,
I'll be trying to give him a call, actually. I've got to try and get hold of Dan in the next couple of weeks. So I want to have a chat about that. So, yeah, we'll have a chat about that. But I suppose then we'll move on then. And we've got, 20 to 8. So we'll move on to the main sort of thing that we was going to talk about tonight. And where do we start? I mean, it's just mind blowing. I think I saw a couple of your tweets to start with, and thinking to myself, well, what's gone on? What's gone wrong, or whatever else. I did a little bit of a flick through and all the rest of it, and then of course saw what I think everybody else has seen, and it just seems to me to be. I suppose my thoughts on it would be, what sort of what sort of reaction was the man expecting to get? Do you know what I mean? I just don't get. You know, I know he's had quite a lot of sort of negative response. I know that, you know, this one gentleman out there today was sort of positive with him, but I just don't see how he was expecting anything other than a backlash.
Well, Dave, you know, I say, and there's people here even watching know his son, so it doesn't, you know, I'll be honest and up front. I was livid Friday when I see the post put out. Now, from obviously my point of view, being I know all the history of the club, I think if we go back to the show last week, when it was announced that obviously Thamesmead Town was going into trouble, and obviously it looks like, well, they have obviously gone. And I read Paul's statement, and I spoke to the person himself and others, you know, and I've said to you this before, and I've spoke to Tommy Warrilow twice. I spoke to him today, and I spoke to him on Saturday. He rang me, and I'm going to keep saying this, and I've said it to you. You know, Tom's got nothing but good words to say about Paul, and over the 2 years he's managed with him, he's seen him, and I've said that, that's fine. Last week, no one was on here criticising what obviously had happened to the club, and like I said, you know, I've got some of my own opinions on it, but that wasn't it. We felt bad, and I've always said this: the club always should come first. It doesn't matter what club you are; the survival of your club should always come first. And it was a great sadness after 49 years, 50 next year, the club had gone to the wall. But then, 2 days after, it has gone to announce a big announcement as well that he was going to another football club, and whatever capacity hurt. And it just looked like two fingers are getting stuck up. You had people there that have been there for years, the Alberts, the Allens, that I know are watching, and one may even ring in a minute. It showed no morals, as I put. Yeah, and I said a few things on Twitter, and I saw which, here or there, and it could come there. And all you can maybe see is people's reaction, not just what I'm saying. And that is what the issue is. Okay, there would be no great time, and someone can't say to me, "Yeah, he's put loads of money in, blah blah blah." If the club had an issue, then financially, then maybe you sit and think, how can I make this club survive? The outgoings you've got, obviously, is Dartford Football Club. Okay? They're the outgoings you've got. Then you've got a wage bill if you decide to have a wage bill. Now, I try to look at things over the last week or so. Now, if I'm looking at why the club's gone down, and all I can look at, Dave, is Romford. Right? Romford haven't had a ground for God knows how many years. And they paid a lot of money at Thurrock. I remember them saying it. And they didn't pay any players. And they've said that. And they've stayed in existence for how many years doing that. So if things are that bad and that is your worst scenario, you should look at Romford and think, how is it? But just going back to, like what I've put on my tweets and what others have had about the club that know about the club. Tom's basically said, and again, I've got so much respect, and Tom's a good mate of mine, and so I'm trying to give a fair reflection on his side of the conversation we had today. The person himself done his best to keep the club afloat. I'm not too sure, right? Some of the messages I got, and the league know this, is that Paul had been speaking or helping Ramsgate out 3 months ago. So 3 months ago is the start of the season.
Yeah.
So if your club's in such a bad way, why are you even helping another football club out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
No,
your main priority is to go to your manager and go, we've got problems. We need to do something with the kids. Yeah. We've got, when I left the club, the first thing I said, and it was with an heavy heart, and it was, it was down. We said about the trust and so on. Okay, and that is who we basically was having a go at last week, if you remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Everybody was about what they've done to Thamesmead Town, and that still stands. Okay, that will not change. But what's gone on in the last few days and how it's come about, it's just like I said, it's just shown. I can't even put in words without swearing, Dave. Right, and it's bitter and it's awful, and all these statements is that I love the club and all that. Well, if you do, then why haven't you kept it afloat? And not even financially, because I know one person, he may be listening tonight, he may even ring himself, I don't know, spoke to the auditors, right, the administrators about taking over the club. Now, if it was that bad, why didn't the administrators say, okay, you can have it, we'll write the debt off, the creditors don't want the money, all you need to do is pay Dartford to play there. Now, the message that this person got straight from the auditors were, sorry, you can't afford to keep the club. They didn't even know this fella could be a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could be a multi-millionaire. Weren't interested. So for me, something don't sound right.
No, absolutely.
Okay. So on a great scale of things, the club could have lost, gone into administration, lost 10 points, not paid any players. Tom or whatever would have had a decision to play kids. Dartford got their money. They carry on. Paul walks away with his debt or whatever they owe him or whatever he put in. He loves the club and he's walked away. That hadn't happened. There was something online that they put for the club up for sale for £50,000 on a business website. Okay, it wasn't been out. That was done a while ago. So they knew. He knew what was going to happen. Tommy didn't. Tom knew that they spoke. He was talking as an advisory a month ago.
Yeah.
But 3 months for me is just outrageous. And like I said, it's just for Albert. He mentions Peter, God rest his soul, which I found very bitter when I read it. And an email that we spoke, I found that he sent out, I found very bitter. But I just thought, if you've got employees, you've got 6 players on contract, you've got a manager that's worked hard for you. If you're struggling, why haven't you gone up to the manager and said, right, we need to, this is it, to keep the club afloat? They've got, they've done a deal with the youth teams to bring a load of youth teams in next year. Well, what's going on there? Going back over it as well, give whatever how much you gave to that club, as long as you walk away and the club's still alive. But it's not. And like I said, this big statement just made it look like it's all about me. If you're going to another club, and even in 6 months, this would have hurt. Still, it would have left a bitter taste in a couple of people's mouths. But why even say anything? Why put a statement out? A massive breaking news, big statement. It's new CEO. Don't let people see it. No one, if there are games at Ramsgate and someone's there, don't rub salt in people's wounds, especially when it's this raw and this bitter, and these people have done it. So what? That is the issue that I've got. And like I said, if you love that club so much, as he said, then why didn't you just walk away with whatever you put in, not do a massive statement as normal about thanking about it, and all these people backed him, because they didn't. Because, like I said, one may even come on in a minute and tell you that, right? But do the right thing for these people that have been 50 next year. It was bad enough that the club was going down the pan. Okay? Don't forget. And to be fair to him, when I spoke to Paul last week, he said he made a mistake leaving Thamesmead Town. He said he made a mistake coming out of the football club, and he should have maybe stayed there. And I've had someone that's contacted Peabody as well. And to be fair to them, the CEO of Peabody replied to an email, and he wasn't too happy about the statement. And I know they offered Thamesmead a deal to stay right at the end, and he should have took it. It was a lot less. But going back to all the things, the morally things, look at the people that are let down, the players that are on contract. If they knew this was happening, if he was talking to another club 3 months ago, they knew. What about Dartford Football Club, who they owe the money to?
Absolutely.
They've shafted them. We're talking 3 months as a text that he sent me, that I've got, but he's also said that the league knew about it, Dave, 3 months ago. Which I know that's wrong. 3 months is the beginning of the season. It's just like it hurts. And like I said, the only people I feel sorry for is Albert. All the people that done it, and people just look and go. And I read a tweet the other day. Oh, he's put his money there. Listen, I put my money into that club as well, but I don't go around sticking it all on things. You do my objective was for that club, and I don't have any doubts that Paul had a lot of feelings for the club and done what he did. I have not got a problem with that. But to jump ship just like that and put it out there just 2 days after, It's you're on about you were shocked. My phone went into overdrive, and for Albert Penton, who doesn't even go on social media hardly ever, to make a statement on it, just shows what it is, you know. And it hurts. And I ain't going to come here sort of that he done this. That is it, morally, to go to, and I've got no problem with anyone at Ramsgate. I said, I like Lloyd, the manager. I knew on the first game of the season that they were looking for a new owner because they told us. I don't know if Richard had personal issues or blah blah blah, but it just stinks, Dave. It stinks.
So what was the manager? I mean, how does he feel about it all? I mean,
Tom, listen, Tom won't mind me saying it. I know he's going. Obviously, he's gutted because their league position wasn't good. It just looks like in one way that they struggled and they just thought, you know what, we're pulling a plug here. They had a lot of injuries, so their team wasn't firing, and Tom was right. They did have a good side there. If you looked at their side, and it was all that, and they were all playing, they would have been challenging. Okay? When we played them a month ago, again, he was in the committee room, basically banging on about how big his wage bill was. He was telling my secretary, everybody, I've got this playing contract, knowing that this was going ahead. And they're the things that rile people, Dave. They're the things that rile people. Yeah, mistakes, mate, whatever, but do things in the right way. Give people a chance. This person, like Steve, I was saying, an old manager would have took over that club and brought kids in. They would have raised the funds to play Dartford. They would have paid Dartford their money and raised them.
I mean, Andrew Mortlock's just tweeted in. He's just said, "Well said, Keith. PBB is out of order. He has mismanaged them for a long time. He has killed a club with a long history just to satisfy his own ego. He should have done the right thing and sorted differences with Peabody and the old ground owners and kept the club going within a realistic means. No sympathy for him, using ill health as another reason to leave. So using ill health as another reason to leave. Well, he's better now to go into Ramsgate."
And obviously, Morley's the chair of the Phoenix. And to be fair, and this is what a lot of people and people say, you don't know the ins and outs. The statement he put in, which also was upsetting, okay, is where he blamed the old committee and whatever for not dealing. Now, listen, there was massive issues with the trust, and we've always said that. But he was still part of that. And there was a deal to be had at the end. And especially now, I think when you look back, and you can always look back in hindsight, but most of the people from the trust are not there anymore. The most important thing at any football club is keep the survival. So they would have been 50 next season.
Yeah,
50.
Yeah.
And Albert and that had been there from day one. And there's more than me to the club. You know, the amount of years I put there with bled, tears, worked hard. The finances that ain't even an issue. You do what you done for them people. And straight away it made that committee was dissolved. The chairman Terry was moved to one side. It was an ego trip, and the club, like I said, as bitter as it is, you can go into it now, but things don't add up, Dave. The figures don't add up. What I've looked at, and like I said, to say he had to go at the old committee, he had to go at Peabody, and the ill health thing is, like I said, Paul has been ill, and no one wishes any ill health on anybody. Right, nothing at all. And when he was ill, I spoke to him last week. You wish him well, but he makes the Rotherham bone back. He's done himself in, basically doing this. And you can put as much statement. Maybe I'm only helping him out. I'm only a. This is people's lives. 50 years that they've worked at this club, and money doesn't matter to anybody, Dave. For Thamesmead, I'll tell you that now. If I was at Thamesmead and I was there, and Terry Owen had to, when people were getting a fiver and just to help. These people got goals out and put them on. They formed youth teams. They were a successful youth team club, and that's been ripped away. And like I said, within that statement, within 2 days, has killed everything what Thamesmead Town stood for. It was a lovely club. People loved them. They got the warmest welcome when you went there. It was a community club, and that's been killed. Them people that have done that have been treated like a piece of shit, and I've said it now.
But it must be difficult for, I suppose, in a way as well for the league itself, because of course it's difficult that morally people have people not just at the league but of course across the non-league itself will have feelings of if it's morally right or morally wrong. But it must be difficult as well when a club's been said, right, okay, we're going to fold them up, and then because of ill health, and then all of a sudden the next minute the league are being told that he's now going over and being CEO, if I'm right in saying, over at Ramsgate. So they must look at that and think.
Listen, it's massive, Dave, but even, listen, if Paul's ill health and that would have been a big issue, okay, which obviously it isn't because he has gone there, but even if I even think Tom or a manager, if someone comes up and goes, look, financially it's getting to me, it doesn't matter what money you've got, that I'm not going to play any more money in, but someone can come in. If this statement was last week or the week before, that someone can come and take this football club for nothing, okay, and I'll walk away, but all you need to do is settle the debt with Dartford, okay, everything else will be sorted. I know someone would play for the transport then, so we'll see who this is.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
You, Dave?
It is, yeah.
Are you with Keith?
We are. We're here. We're actually sitting here. Yeah, we're listening to every word from him.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
Well, this is Alan Martin of Thamesmead.
Hello, mate. How are you? Silly
Okay,
question,
thank
really.
you. I've not heard all the show because apparently you're not going out to everybody on Twitter, and I've struggled to get you, so I don't know where you are at the moment.
We are talking about Thamesmead. You've
are you?
at the
Okay,
perfect time, Alan.
Yeah, we are.
No, that's fine.
So Alan, just for people obviously who don't know who you are, just sort of give a Russ, of who, what you've done for Thamesmead and who you are.
Well, I've been at Thamesmead for 40 years. I walked over there when I moved out to Thamesmead on one Saturday, and there was a game of football on the park, and I asked to score, and people started to talk to me, and everybody was nice. I went back the following Saturday, and the following Saturday, and the following Saturday. I got involved because my son played at under 10s, and he went all the way through to the senior side. So did all the parents, and so did all the people on the area. There was all people that kind of moved out from Bermondsey, Elephant and Castle, and they were sort of the earth people. And all of a sudden, there's all these players that want to play for Thamesmead, and they've come through the ranks. We didn't have anything. We had a roped off pitch. Girlfriends and wives and families used to bring home sandwiches and tea out of a flask, but afterwards we all go back to the local pub or the social club, and that's where we all met, and it just grew from there. I mean, I got involved through Albert Panting and my friend down the road, Pete Tierney. He was the first person to talk to me when I walked over there. It was an early game because it was a cup game, and it was early afternoon. In those days, you didn't have any kind of lights, and it was the end of the game, and they were taking penalties, and this man was facing the wrong way, and I couldn't believe it. Anyhow, I said, "Hello, mate, what's the score?" As you do, he said, "Oh, it's extra time and penalties," and they won. And afterwards, everybody's taking down the nets and the flags, and everybody was they were so proud of their club, and I got involved. And being as I played a bit myself, and I've been involved with football, I got involved with my son because he played under 10, and I started a bit of goalkeeper coaching, and then I started doing other little things in the club, and everybody was so helpful. You talked to Albert and Peter, they were going around knocking on people's houses and selling tickets, and we had a town show, and we had stalls, and it was that kind of atmosphere, and it just grew from there. I went on a sports injury course, got involved with in them days they called them Sponge Man, and I got involved with doing a bit of kind of maintenance, and the committee grew as a family. I had a bad spell where I lost a few people in the family, and the people that was there for me was the club. And if I didn't have the club, I wouldn't have had anything. And I've enjoyed it, and it's been a pleasure to call Thamesmead Town my club for all these years. It's a shame how it's gone. I will say that Paul did speak to me and Albert, and I took him for his word, which perhaps I shouldn't have done. And at the end of when he first told us, you felt sorry for the man because he said he's not well, and I know he's not been well, and he said that he isn't going to put in any more money. It's come to the stage where enough's enough, and we accepted that. I shook his hand and thanked him, and then halfway through the first week, I see that he's gone to Ramsgate, and I'm thinking, if you're going to go to Ramsgate, why wasn't you honest enough when you told us the sob story to say, look, I've had enough with Thamesmead. I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I've had an offer from Ramsgate. That's where I'm going to go. If he'd have said that, I'd have had a row with the person, but I wouldn't have said thank you and shook his hand and done. I don't know. I was upset anyhow, so perhaps. But the way that this has come out, and then I'm thinking back, I don't know, we played Ramsgate about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they was all over him, and I didn't think anything of it at the time, and now I realise this must have been ongoing for, let's say, a month. I don't know. But it is a shame how it's ended up. But the nice bit about it, I've been fortunate to be part of the Mead family, and there's not many people who can say that. They really can't. And the man sitting alongside you, in the days where we didn't have anything, before the game, and he's the manager, he's got his hands down the toilets, cleaning the toilets. And I'm putting up lights, and someone's marking the pitch, but nobody moaned. Nobody wanted anything. And it was a lovely atmosphere, but in them days there was 8 or 9 players who lived in the area of Thamesmead. It was our club, and it was our club. And we had in the end, we had to do something. Whether it was the right thing to do, I don't know. Hindsight's a good thing, in it. I don't know. But and then we had this nice stadium, and everything looked nice. But from the word go, it wasn't ever going to be a partnership. They just dictated to us all the time. And I know that Keith made himself ill over it, and that's the reason that he moved on. And nobody blames him for that. And he's doing a great job at BCD, to be honest. I missed the early bit, and I watched BCD the weekend, and they played really, really well. I'm fortunate that they didn't go through. Their goalkeeper was outstanding, but that's another issue. But it's all I feel sorry for is Ramsgate, because I can see it happening again. I really cannot. I don't know what your views are on it, and I know Keith's views, and he's very passionate.
I mean, Alan, you can see, I mean, you know, listening to what Keith was saying earlier, you know, you can hear the passion in his voice, and, you know, and you know, probably even more so yourself, do you know what I mean? And it must have been, you know, a devastating blow. I mean, you know, for 1 minute, you know, he's leaving because of you know, ill health. Then all of a sudden you get that, you know, sort of kick in the you-know-wheres, shall we say, that he's moving on to Ramsgate. And you can see that people like yourself, loyal to the club and non-league football, and it's, as you've said, it's your life. You know, and this bloke's taking, you know, the possibility, I'm assuming that it is now almost definite, but, you know, it's one of those situations where he's taking, you know, your hobby or your life away from you.
Yeah, you are right. I mean, and I had a partner as well, and I've lost him within a matter of months. Now I've lost my football club, but there's still people like there's Keith and Terry and Albert, and the Mead family's still around you when you need them, and any of them, if they made a phone call, we would all be there for each other. I mean, if you'd have seen the people that turned up at Peter's funeral, and the people that turned up at my son's funeral, and the ex-chairman, Nick O'Keefe was the chairman at the time, and all the committee all kind of rallied round, and the whole day was run by them. You know, that doesn't happen anymore. They're genuine, nice footballing people that don't deserve what's happened. And I'd hate to think it's going to happen. Not that I don't know nothing about Ramsgate, but I'd hate to think it's going to happen to them. But the man's got history of it now. When you look back at all the clubs he's been involved with, it's always been an issue. I hate to think it's going to happen. Not that I don't know. I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have respected him. And me and Albert's been there a long time. he's just got to respect who he's talking to.
I think that's that's the issue, isn't it, Alan?
Yes.
That this is what people aren't getting. Some people just think like, oh, he's put a lot of money in, blah blah blah. But with our club, and I just tried to say this to Dave earlier. People weren't interested in the money. When we done well, it was brilliant. But it was more to do with the club and as I basically said, if Paul would have come up to you and gone, look, Alan, Albert, I can't physically put the finances in or whatever anymore. That wouldn't have bothered you, would it? You would have still said, as you just said, I don't know for a fact, I think you both disagreed with a lot of things he done, but you also respected him because he was trying to help in certain things as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, and I mean, you can't take it away that since you left, he's kept us afloat, and I thanked him for that, but I won't thank him for not being honest, and that's what's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's
it. It's annoying, and it's upset Albert, and Albert don't want to get into an argument or a slangy match, and he just wants to let it die, and I've just put out on Twitter, I've got all my memories, Paul Who. And, to be honest, and I know that you're very, very passionate, and you're like me, Keith, but in the end of the day, we've got to move on.
No, I know, but I don't think anyone's like, we're not even questioning that, and I'm glad you've come on out and people can understand, obviously people that know you do, but just what I sort of see Albert on Saturday, but I didn't get much of a chance to sort of speak, and obviously I know what I've said on his Twitter, but what just because I know Paul and people like that will be watching, because I know his son's watching. So what just so he knows, because the email he sent you both on Friday as well after my conversation with him, just say how Albert's feeling.
Albert's feeling terrible. It's not only that. Every time he puts anything out on Twitter, he's mentioning Peter's name as though it's his get out of car jail.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? And Peter have told me to do this and Peter told me to do that. It's all Peter said was the same as we said. Look, at the end of last season we said, look, Paul, if enough's enough, call it a day. And that's all we said.
Yeah.
Alan, we've had a few people come in and Facebook in, and I was trying to read, and that's why I was getting a bit of feedback, so I've gone onto another device. But it says in there, PBBs and I can't even say that. Egotistical, arrogant man, full of his own self-importance. He has ruined pretty much every club he has been at, one way or another. Everything is always about him. Another grand title at Ramsgate.
Well, it is all about him. Yeah.
He says, I generally worry about the long-term future. Biggest question for me is, how do the FA and the Bostik League let this happen? How can he possibly be past the fit and proper test? How can they watch one team fold, then the very man responsible for turning up at another club at the same league? Absolute disgrace. Gary Skinner has said, what a call. He must be heartbroken. Had some good days over at Thamesmead when Keith managed them and Justin was at Averley. And then Andrew Mortlock has come back as a great call from Alan, gutted for him and all the others who have dedicated so much voluntary time to Thamesmead.
What would you like to see now? Because obviously Thamesmead Town have still got the odd one or two youth teams, haven't they? I don't know what the situation is going to be with them. I understand, because I've looked into it for obvious reasons. I'm not going to lie, and I don't, would I don't know it will, everyone's getting on, but would you like to still see youth teams go, and then maybe someone who did try and take them and start again at step 7? Or would it not be the same?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, you know me, I'm out every Sunday watching youth team football. I always have. I watched yesterday, and it's Thamesmead to start up again under new people. It won't ever be the same. I should find it very hard to get involved. As far as I'm concerned, Thamesmead as a football club has gone.
Let's look at the other hypothetical of it. If obviously Paul would have walked away and someone else who took over, they had the 10-point gap, didn't pay any players any money, but played at Dartford this year, got relegated back into what we call the Old Kent League. How would you and Albert would have felt about that?
I think if someone had come in
that you knew
period and put the cards on the table, and Paul walked away and he spoke to me and Albert, I think we would have probably seen out the season and seen how it panned out.
Mm-hmm.
Long as it was still pan at Thamesmead, but to be honest, when we moved away from Thamesmead, it wasn't ever the same. I thought we had a good year at Dartford, but perhaps I was wrong. I don't know. I thought our crowds was a little bit bigger. It wasn't much, and we played some good football. And I was quite enjoying it. If I thought to nothing, I was only enjoying it because it got so bad over Thamesmead that you're turning up on the Saturday and half the pitch ain't marked out, or you can't find the corner flags, or you've got to do the goals, or the alarm goes off, and all them kind of things. You didn't have that, and it was nice just to turn up, watch the game of football, and go home again. The only thing I find strange, how does the league allow this to happen? Not Thamesmead go, but for Paul to start up again.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, you've asked the question, and that's one of the things I'm glad you've come on, because I don't really have to say too much because you've said it all, and the feelings. People know my passion, and it isn't just me having a moan and a thing about it. But
no,
I read, and I'm not going to lie, a text from Paul to me saying that the league and FA, and I think you was copied on it. He sent you an email, knew 3 months ago.
If that's the case, that's disgusting, isn't it?
Well, it's the start of the season.
Yeah.
That's what hurts.
Yeah.
That's what hurts, Al. And I know it does. Like you said, it's not. It's just the way it's been dealt with. And was you surprised to see a big statement? Did that need to happen? Did that just feel like it was rubbing salt in the wounds?
Well, yeah. To be honest, if you hadn't have intervened and asked Paul to send us an email, we wouldn't have known. We'd have only saw it in the press or on Twitter that he's gone to Ramsgate. That's why it annoyed me when he had the meeting. He wasn't honest enough to tell us the full story, and that's what's really got me, because everybody that I've been involved with Thamesmead are genuine, honest people, and we've had our ups and downs and our troubles, but everybody's been honest with everybody. If everybody knows where they stand, and then all of a sudden you see it on Twitter or in the press, then all of a sudden mine and Albert's phone don't stop ringing, and you feel so. You're upset anyhow, and didn't you see that? And you feel, well, I thought, where's that come from? It's got to be a joke at first, but then I realised it wasn't, and then it all comes out in his statement. He's been talking to him, but why did he have to put that out? Why couldn't he tell us?
And as I said, if your club was in such bad way, why aren't you spending all your time sorting your own club out?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Just a quick question now, just so people know. Over the 40 years you've been at Thamesmead, how much money's the club paid you?
Nothing. No, nothing.
Why have you done it for 40 years then, Al?
Because it's my club. I was proud. I was privileged to be part of the Mead journey, and the lovely people that was over there, all genuine footballing people who you could trust. And if somebody said they're going to do something, they would do it. And if you're called out at night, like you have, and I have, and everybody else has, you go over there. If you've got to put your hands down the toilet, that's what you do. If there's no lights, we had a flood once, and it happened on Friday.
Remember,
everybody's in there Friday night, Saturday morning, putting up roofs so that the game can go ahead.
Yeah.
But it was our club, but nobody moaned. But those days in football, I know I'm old now and I'm probably looking backwards. So those days don't seem to happen now. I don't know. And at the time, everybody was laughing and joking. And after the game, win, lose or draw, we'd all sit out in those old armchairs at the back. We'd have a beer and we'd put the wells to rights. And we'd have our moans and we'd all talk. We had kind of different opinions about things, but we all walked out of there, I don't know, 8 o'clock, up by 7, 8 o'clock at night, and we've seen a good game of football, we've had a chat, and we've met good people. That's the letdown.
So what has been the feedback to you then, Alan? With the likes of fans and
well, we haven't got a lot of fans, but the fans I do see around, they were surprised they wasn't surprised because they knew that financially it wasn't a stable proposition, but they didn't know anything about Ramsgate, and that's what's upset a load of people. Ex-players I've seen, I mean, I've been around football for a long time, and even on Sunday I'm watching nothing to do with Thamesmead. I'm watching 2 games, and someone come up to me and they said that was a kick in the goalies, wasn't it? And just go through it again. I don't know. I don't think our junior sides or the Thamesmead junior sides that's playing under Thamesmead at the moment will be allowed to play because they're playing in the Kent League and they're not affiliated to a senior club. Unless I'm wrong, I might be. Yeah, I don't know. People probably say
it's going to depend on if they've got a different affiliation number. Going back again, it happened when Dartford sort of had the issues years ago. They kept their youth teams, and that's how Dartford kept their name. So I've been told.
Yeah, so, in all fairness, I think from when we.
But they might not if they're under the same affiliation number. Then the answer will be no, because that happened to Greenwich Borough.
Because when we set up all the teams at Harlow, I mean, they had to then have a different affiliation.
Yeah, but some of the Kent Youth ones, Dave, you can't. Because the insurance is under the same club, and so it depends. And again, and this is what I'm saying. There was no fault for that. There was no fault for for the others. And like I just said, it hurts, and it will hurt. And Alan coming on here and going over the things that obviously I know, it makes it even harder. It makes it even harder. And if I basically ask you to sum up one word about the club going, Alan, it's pretty obvious what you're going to say.
Yeah, well, I can't find. We're just taken back on board this year for 5 junior sides. So he must have known when he was setting all this up what he wanted to do. So we'll set it up.
Exactly right. That's what I'm saying.
Especially if he said it was 3 months previous, he would have known. Yeah,
I've got the message, man. I'll show you, and he's put it on the email as
well. I don't know. I mean, it must be. I don't know where we are. I don't know what we can do with this, but we just put it to bed and move on. I mean, I've still got the nice people around me that I had, and we're all there for each other anyhow. We will all see each other around the circuit. I'm sure we will. And but. Though I go and watch, and I'm welcome at VCD, I'm working at Field. I'm welcome everywhere I go, and even we see kind of Whitstable the other week, because we're playing VCD. And they're people that I've known from the Kent League. And they come and spoke to me and Albert as though we were old brothers, and that means a lot to people of our standard.
That's what a lot of people on the outside don't see, that just think, oh, there's been a lot of money thrown at it, you've done that. They don't see the other side of it, do they?
No. It's not about pound notes. Well, it didn't used to be about pound notes. Grassroots football is what it is. Genuine working class people who like their football.
So is the whole sort of situation, is the club completely dead now, or is there still a little bit of hope maybe from somewhere, or is that sort of?
I can't answer that because when Keith left and Paul kind of took over the reins, it disbanded the whole committee.
Right.
So we don't have committee meetings as such. And he only tells us, all right, it's his club, he's putting in the money, and we have to accept that. And so I don't know the actual outcome of Thamesmead. The only thing I'm going to see is if there's any statements on Twitter or anything that comes out afterwards. As far as I know, it's gone. You speak to Albert and he is convinced it's gone.
Yeah.
We did hear through the grapevine there was a few late calls, but I was told there was late. Apparently one was on a Thursday and everything was all signed off on the Wednesday, but yeah, that's only hearsay, so I don't want to put anything.
No, but I know for a fact someone asked, and you know him as well. Like I said, he was my reserve team manager for 7 years at Thamesmead, and they were just going to keep it going and maybe pay Dartford, and I know someone's gone on here and said there's people's contracts and that, but there isn't. When you go into administration, if the administrator's quite happy and the creditor is quite happy to walk away with the debt, which obviously Paul's put out there and said it's all down, all the debt is eased anyway, which would be interesting, what it is. If he would have been happy to walk away, the auditor's not there. The contracts were cancelled anyway. They could have carried on, and they would have done that, and that person would have done it. Obviously, he might have got youngsters or players to play for him for no money, and just got through, and then while you're getting through, it's a bit like when they left, and you know that the trust offered Thamesmead a deal to stay. If you'd have stayed another year, then certain things can change. You never know, but why the club's still there?
Yeah. All right. Well, it's nice to come on here and hear my views in here, mate. I'm glad I did. I was a bit kind of dubious.
No, listen. People need to know yourself, and and it's a shame Albert as well, because as you know, Albert, Peter. I'm just, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what to say. What Peter would have said. Al, I wouldn't even know, but not what he thinks and what he put in that email. He wouldn't say that, would he?
No, he wouldn't. No, and I think that's what keeps him upsetting Albert a lot more. Every time he puts out a statement, he's mentioning someone that can't answer him back.
So who is it then at the moment then, with the league and the FA and everything else? If that's the case and the committee's been disbanded and the chairman's now at Ramsgate, etc., who, if there is any issues or anything that's going on, any talk?
They have to talk to the auditors.
Right. Okay. So that is. Okay.
There's a third party that's taking
the administrators.
Yeah. I understood that from Paul's conversation that there's a third party that has to be involved. But I don't know. It's how it's all ended up. It's sad. Obviously, it is.
Yeah.
But it could have been handled a lot better to ease the burden on people that's been involved with Thamesmead Football Club for 40 years plus. And if it was done right, we still wouldn't have been happy, but we would have been more.
I think what you're trying to say, and I think this is what everyone that's got the passion for the club, like ourselves, is that we've got some great memories of the club, and we'll always have great friends, but that wasn't the last memory we wanted to have.
No, let's put right, you give it the nail on the head, that's not the memory that I will remember Thamesmead about anyhow. I've got too many good memories, and as I put on my Twitter, Paul who, and that probably sums up the man.
Fair play to you, mate. And like I said, you've got them memories. I always look over and
I know.
Do you feel that Paul will actually ever come out and say why he did what he's done?
100%. There will be a massive long statement put out soon. That's what all it
and
was.
it's all about him.
There you go, and that's from the horse's mouth. That's why I don't have to say much, mate. I've said what I feel. I think it's wrong. I hope the FA step in and do it. And also, and I said this from day one, no one wishes any ill health on anyone,
no,
and I don't want this to.
I mean,
but this will affect you. This will affect you.
I did shake his hand and thank him.
Yep. Yeah. I felt sorry for him out
He
the other week.
kept us alive for 6 years, but after how it's panned out, I'm thinking to myself, you've had me over, or you haven't told me the full truth. You haven't had me over, but you haven't told me what I wanted to hear.
And the respect you deserve.
I've heard it off of someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you'd have thought you would at least have the respect to tell people that's been at the club a long time the truth and say, look, I'm going to Ramsgate because of A, B and C, and that's the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've had some more people send messages.
Listen to the messages,
The
Al.
message to you, Al. So it says, good phone call, Al. Not many people like you left at club.
And that's Simon Housey. You remember Simon?
Ollie Underwood has said, I feel for the real people like Alan and Albert connected to Thamesmead. So it's horrible hearing clubs in trouble financially. Kevin White said, great call, Al. So sorry for you and everyone who worked hard for years to make it a great club. And Chris Ottaway, who's down at Epping, he said it's absolutely disgraceful.
He done a couple of great years for us at the club, Kevin and a few lads, didn't they, Al? Do you remember that?
Yes, yeah. I mean, they're the kind of things I'm getting all the time on Twitter, me and Albert, and it's nice that then people kind of rally round, and you don't see these people often, only sad occasions, which we did a little while back, but you know that those people are there for you.
Yeah.
Well, there's one more.
That's a bit about the Mead family.
Somebody that you know, and I think he's part of the Mead family, Alan Woodward, has said, I had 11 great years at the Mead and was proud to work with Alan, Albert and Peter. Great respect for all their work for the club.
Yeah. So he's another top bloke that would do anything you ask him and don't take a penny. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, all good people, but they're not only good people; they've got good family, and it ain't only a men thing. All the families have become friends.
Yeah.
And when it's due at Christmas or barbecues, or we all meet up, and
we do.
It's all carried on with our kids and things like that, and my grandchildren, and it's what it says.
The only one thing I leave Paul with that sentiment, what you just said there, Al, was that, and this is what really hurt him, is that he'd never ever be part of that in years to come because of it.
No.
And that must hurt.
Yeah, it will hurt him. He's missed out big time on a family that won't ever be replicated again anywhere.
Well, Alan Hollands.
I'll tell you that.
Alan Hollands has just sent a message as well. Had great memories working with everyone at the Mead. They gave me my chance of being their club photographer. I loved every minute of my time with the club. Wish I had the chance to say goodbye to Alan, Albert, etc. Wasn't the way the club should have ended.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And Kevin White said, totally agree with you, Alan. I feel exactly the same.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, well, mate, like I said,
I can't do the washing up.
So you've got to do it at age. Listen, mate, thanks for calling. And it's great that someone they can hear your side, so it's not just me, but people can get an understanding why we're so passionate and why it was that reason. And this man and Albert and Peter, and I can mention the fella's name, is why I done, and Alan Woodward and Terry and everyone done what we done for the club was for these people.
Nick O'Keefe and
you've got to keep going. All the old people,
even go down to Keith Dunsmore.
Yeah, well, I see Keith now because his grandson plays with my son.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. And they just can't. They're just shocked. Even Bill Wright has been emailing and things like that, and no other club had that, and that is why we were so passionate. And as we said, Al, it hasn't done to money. We were like this when we had the worst car park that any football club ever had.
Worse than Wolf of Alice.
Oh yeah, the leaking roofs. The amount of things you must have fixed the club about 50,000 times.
Yeah, when the boiler packed up. Yeah, but everybody was doing their bit, Keith. It wasn't only me, and everybody was happy to do a bit, and everybody wanted to do a bit. We built our own stands.
Yeah.
It it was those kind of people, and it was a pleasure to be a part of it. It's a shame how it ended. It could have ended a lot better, but I suppose, mate, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, cheers, mate. I'll catch up with you.
Mate.
Listen, a massive thank you for coming on tonight. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go, mate. You know, and part of that conversation he was having, it was a bit emotional, and I just had to listen to it. It was, and as I said, no one. It doesn't matter who can come on here now and fight one against the other. That sums it up. It sums it up, and what and Alan is a great, and Albert, who started Thamesmead, with Peter, and as we said. And I know his feelings because he spoke, and I asked him how he was yesterday, and he is very, very and Al's right. We do meet up for people's birthdays and family birthdays we've gone to, and wedding anniversaries. We always at Albert's the other week, a month ago, and we go to them. Unfortunately, 1-1, and that's the issue we've got. It doesn't matter what club I go to in years to go. They'll always still be there for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, if you want to phone in, if you've got anything to say about Thamesmead situation or anything else, give us a call. 07912 435 005. That's 07912 435 005. Or give us a text. I mean, same as what Dave Joyce has done. This evening, Dave and Keith, when VCD played Thamesmead recently, Paul told me that he was cutting the playing budget after the next match, which I believe was the FA Trophy match. He explained things were tight, but at no point did he say he was considering folding the club. So it came as a massive shock to me, especially as Keith had said there seems to have been an attempt to cut the wage bill in the first instance. So, literally, if there's anybody else out there, I mean, even if Paul's out himself and he wants to come and respond to Alan, by all means, the number's there. We say 07912 435 005, or if there's anybody from Ramsgate that wants to call in as well, then why not as well? Just give us a call and have a chat. It just seems to be, I think, from what Alan was saying, I think if Paul would have come out and actually said it to him face to face, it probably would have been.
Listen, it wouldn't have been great, right? And I said, and this is what people are misunderstanding. As he said, someone said that's a kick in the goolies. It couldn't get any bigger. And these people, and you've just heard Alan for 27 minutes, if no one could felt the emotion of what he feels and what he's done to that football club, him, Albert, Peter, it's the reason I stayed there. So and for that, it just shows no respect to them. Like, I couldn't, people say, I couldn't give a monkey's, how I felt about it. And I was deeply upset. A club that I loved for them reasons had gone down the pan, but it's them why I was fuming, why I was shaking, because it just showed no respect whatsoever. Nothing. And as Dave said, it's just all about him. I want this massive statement. What is that about? What other club does it at our level? It's not so Man City have just put on Sky Sports News, they've got a new CEO. It's ridiculous. And unfortunately, and I'm going to just echo one thing that, like I said, that Tommy said to me today. Yeah, I don't want people going up and having a bullying thing and whatever, because he's an old man that is ill. That's fine, but this was never ever going to go good. It doesn't matter what was said. This was never ever going to end well after what happened with that statement. So whatever backlash there's going to be in that way, and it will finish and it will peter out. This ain't going to be a vendetta that's going to go on for 10 years. No. Let it rest, but it needed saying. People needed to hear, people like Alan and whatever. And it's a massive shame. And there's other fans out there, Worthing, Bognor. If this happened to your club, you would feel the same as well. Because Thamesmead Town had a fan base of 100 people or whatever, we had a family of the strongest family you'll ever have in any football club. And not ones that are multi-rich that can go and rescue. They've done more than anything else, and that's what I'm saying.
Should we read this statement? The statement's here. Do you want me to read it? Or
You do what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it literally says here. So this was what started the issue. So it says, at the start of the season, Phil Fennell stepped down as chairman of Ramsgate Football Club. Martin Abel was then announced as the new chairman, and he was carried out his review of the club and his processes for the shareholders. Upon consideration of his report, the shareholders identified several areas where the club needed support. Improvement and modernisation if we were to progress. It's also clear that we need to bring in new blood to help implement new ideas and reach our goals. Ramsgate FC is therefore pleased to announce that it has obtained the service of 2 high-level individuals who will be joining the club with immediate effect and who will be bringing valuable experience and expertise. Paul Bowden-Brown needs no introduction, having been one of the most experienced chairmen in non-league football at our level and above. Paul, who for many years was chairman of Maidstone and saw the club rise up through the Isthmian League and has recently been instrumental in keeping Thamesmead afloat against all odds during the recent troubles until a lack of support and spiralling costs forced the club to fold. Since then, he has had several offers to join other clubs, but is excited by the opportunity we have here at Ramsgate. He will join initially as a consultant until the dissolution of Thamesmead Town is complete, and then he will join on the board of directors and CEO, with his focus being to implement the changes highlighted in the shareholders report. Paul will also bring some backroom staff with him to Ramsgate to support our existing structure. They will be welcome addition to the overworked team of volunteers. And then we go on to the other gentleman as well that's come in. But the one thing that I just read that, and that's the first time, I'll be honest, I read the first bit, but the one bit of that, especially after the phone call that we just had, says Thamesmead, he's going to keep Thamesmead afloat all odds during their recent troubles until a lack of support and spiralling costs. Well, from what Alan and that was saying there, he had the support, shall we say. I mean, that just doesn't seem to be.
It's a lot of bollocks, David.
Well, you said it. Yeah, I was going to say it. But yeah.
Let's just put it out on a bit. Yeah. Listen, as you know, I've just well, while we're reading messages out, and I will. Obviously, Kelly has just texted me. Okay, obviously the league secretary, and she's just put, I had some good years with good people. The league secretary, and she, you know, and we can say that she worked for us. She knew what it was about, and to be fair, you know, and anyone, I think. When you and everyone knows this, when anyone ever visited Thamesmead, you know, it wasn't the nicest of areas. I think I'm not talking, you know, out of turn here, but you got the warmest welcome, and it was Peter that met, and it was not, and it was funny to hear that. And I was going to say that obviously when Alan first went to a Thamesmead game and on a park, the first person that spoke to him was Peter, and Peter spoke to the first. He was the introduction person at Thamesmead. He was great, and you know, you went in, you met Albert and obviously Terry Hills and Dave's and obviously yourselves. And he's right. He's going back to people like Nick O'Keefe, who was a great chairman that obviously come through the ranks, and you know, everyone was just so close together. And I think if you look at why there's such an outcry, and there's been a lot of ex-players that have messaged Dave, because when you played for Thamesmead, going back when we was at Thamesmead. You felt part of the family, and we got a good side together. When we got promoted out of whatever leagues we did and won stuff, we done it because we had that togetherness. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you've got that. You know, we've got that." You won't replicate that ever, and that is why we're always going to stay friends. And that is what's come across, and that's what I think some people aren't getting. And it looks.
Well, I mean, you say that, Keith. I mean. You know, normally we'll get one or two little messages come through that just says hello and how are you guys, thanks, good show, etc., etc. Tonight it's gone mental. I mean, Twitter, I've got 2 phones in front of me because it's going so. It's literally, I just can't keep up with the amount we've got. But Danny Joy has come in and said, heartfelt call from Alan, proper football man, spent many years watching Thamesmead, and what's happened is truly awful. People like Keith, Alan, Albert, and my dad put so much time in and don't get the recognition they deserve. This has affected so many people.
Yeah, it has. It has. And like I said, yeah, you do feel emotional. You know, and even like, you know, even my chairman, Gary, you know, there is no beating around him. Everyone knows the affiliation I had with Thamesmead. You know, I've got a massive affiliation to VCD. I've been there a while as well, but even he come in and said he can't believe what's gone on, and you know, and you have had messages, and you know, it's just, and Alan said you just, you know, for them, they feel like they've just been kicked in the nut, and they don't deserve it. They're the nicest people in the world. They don't deserve it, and you get a lot of people saying, I knew it was going to happen, blah blah blah. Yeah. But you know, it's hard.
I mean, Chris Ottaway said, when I was chairman at Crockenhill, we always were made to be friends down there.
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't think no one. I don't think anyone would say a bad word of the committee at Thamesmead Town, mate. It's impossible. It's impossible. You know, and like I said, it grabbed me, and you know, it changed the whole of my life, to be fair. And he's right. We do go for meals still, and you know, I said to you, see, I went out with some of my old players last week, and I go out with you know, me, Albert. When you know, obviously Peter did come, and Terry, you and Dave, Steve Waite and Alan, we try and go out for a meal here and there, and I'm planning to do a massive thing at the end of January where anyone that's been involved, ex-player, ex-committee member at Thamesmead, obviously barring a couple, we're going to sit down and have a meal and have a farewell chat about the club and you know, toast a few people, Peter and, you know, some friends, and give it the send off, and it'd be great. And I think the stories that will be told on that day and the laughs we've had will be brilliant. And I know I've put it out on Twitter, and I'm going to organise that after Christmas, and I think it'll be huge.
But you said, you know, it's affecting many people. I mean, you know, you said you just had, you know, a text message from Kelly, and you know, and even, you know, even Kelly. I mean, she's, you know, she's sort of got two hats on as such, isn't she? Do you know what I mean? Somebody that's really sort of like, you know, it was a team that was close to her heart, and
yeah,
you know, so it's affected her twice almost, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, I can only. I think we've got to take the league secretary out of because that's not fair. Because people go, oh no, she shouldn't be we shouldn't be talking about it. But you know, anyone that's been involved with the club will do. Obviously, you know, Kelly as well. You know, was here from Belvedere. Her dad is a big part, and that's a big part of her life. So and I think she was blown away with what we were and how welcome we were to the club for her. And you know, as soon as she walked in the door, and she would vouch for this, everyone made her just feel so welcome. But that is what the club did, Dave. It didn't matter who you are, and you know, we go back, and I know Luke Gray's watching, and I stuck up for him on Twitter yesterday. You know, he dad that passed away at 6. I think it may be even more than that now. They come down, him and his wife Simone with Luke Little, and they just bonded with the club, got part of it, and was part of our family. And Alan said his funeral was massive at the club, and that's the sort of, you know, that's what happened, and people respected you for that, and that is why this is so bitter, and that I think. But hopefully now people may see that's why the reaction from some of us are like they are. You know, I can see some people going, "Well, you're a manager of Eastmian. Why are you even bothered?" And you know, you're going on there. That ain't it. That ain't it. So, like I said, it's been difficult. I've got a lot of emotions. I am very passionate. I do. Everyone knows I speak how I am. I don't regret that. But as Peter said. We've all got memories, but that wasn't the last memory I wanted of the football club, to read that. And that, unfortunately, is what we've got.
Yeah. Of course, you want to phone up, don't forget 07912 435 005. We're here for the next 20 minutes, and why not give us a bell and you know, talk to us about Thamesmead, maybe your memories of Thamesmead, and say, or anything else that how your team maybe got on the FA Trophy at the weekend, and the draw, and are you happy with the draw that's happened, of course, today as well?
Tell what we can go through, Dave, as well as the draw, and we can pop up on your phone, which we haven't done for a while, is to go through the leading goal scorers of the league. Okay. Because obviously some of the lads out there, one I think's just come on and watched. You know, it's always good to see after 10 games what they've got and who's leading the goal scorers. Yeah. Let's try and get back onto a little bit of football as well. It's a big thing. So what we spoke about, and like I said, it was very close to my heart, and not what we're letting a guess on. I think we've most probably had the best ever phone call we've ever had.
Yeah. It's very much so. Well, the Premier League goal scorers then. Who do you think's top?
I think it might be Jamie Curtin.
It is Jamie Curtin. He's got 9 for Bishop Stortford. Billy Bricknell's got 7 for Enfield
I think he may catch him quite quickly.
Yeah. Joel Nobel has got 7 for Haringey. We've got Alex Reid has got 7 for Tonbridge Angels. Danny Smith has got 7 for Bognor Regis. Elliot Buchanan, he's got 6 for Kingston. Lee Elliott is very difficult with.
Well, you've got to be the full names, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah, he's got 6 for Kingstonian. Stephen Lethbridge has got 6 for Bognor. James Mewett has got 6 for Bognor. Certainly spreading them around, isn't he? Jason Pryor's got 6 for Dorking. Louis's got 6 for Kingstonian. We're not even going to try the last name there. Adam Youssef's got 6 for Folkestone Victor. And Dave's got 5 for Worthing into the North Division.
Sorry, Chris Otway's just gone. I agree, great phone call ruined my Monday. Apologies. Dean, we are going to talk about Alex Teniano to Phoenix in a minute, mate. So,
absolutely.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah, Sam Bantic has got 10 for Coggeshall Town. 4 for, well, in that, of course, he's 4 for Haybridge Swifts. Alex Acoffery's got 7 for
watching?
Yeah.
Alex.
Callum Harrison's got 6 for AFC Sudbury. David Knight's got 6 for Bowers. LJ Worrell's got 6 for Basildon. Daniel Beaumont's got 5 for Dereham Town. Thomas Debenham's got 5 for Milden Hall. Brian Moses 5 for Basildon. Kerry D. Sheriff has got 5 for Morden. Ross Wall's got 5 for Coggeshall. Jack Ainsley's got 4 for Felix. And Sam Ashford has got 4 for Whittam. In the South Central Division, James Ewington's got 10 for Northwood. And there's we haven't spoke about, because he was on the show, managed down there then, and now no longer there.
No. Strange, isn't it?
Strange one, yeah. Very strange one. I did have a chat with him through Twitter, and he did sort of say, a bit there, but we won't go into that. But it is, it is a real sort of shock for me with, how well they were doing.
Yeah.
Danny Bassett 9 for Tooting and Mitcham. Liam Ferdinand has got 9 for Bracknell. Joseph Grant's got 8 for Bracknell. Ezekiel Banamossi has got 7 for Chipstead. Lee Barney has got 6 for Hayes. Mark Bitmead's got 6 for Ashford. Andrews Carter's got 6 for Westfield. Jason Hallett's got 6 for Cheshunt. Expect to see him a little bit higher up as it goes on. He's been injured lately.
Yeah, he's been injured,
he'll move up there eventually. Tobias Little's got 6 for Hayes. Daniel Moody's got 6 for Chipstead. And Awuli Akinsania, is it? 5 for Cheshunt. Surprised though that when you look through that the team at the top of the table ain't got anybody in there.
It just speaks a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then into yours. Zach Anser has got 14 for Hive Town. Daniel AJ has got 9 for Hastings. Kessie Dude's got 9 for Phoenix Sports. Louis Eddie Desand's got 8 for Whiteleaf. Roy Smith's got 8 for Ramsgate. Charlie McDonald's got 7 for VCD.
Jake's got 11. That's 7 league goals.
Yeah. Jake Embry's got 6 for Herne Bay. Carl Ackhurst has got 5 for Haywards Heath. Harry Goodjar's got 5 for Faversham. Matthew Lawrence got 5 for Guernsey. Thomas Lons has got 5 for Sittingbourne. And Freddie Parker's got 5 for Cray Wanderers. So certainly,
all the normal goal scorers are there. Obviously, I think Michael Power's not there, but he's been injured for Cray as well. It's the only one in our league you'd sit there and go, okay, but no, he's had an injury, back problem, so I'm sure hopefully when he's fit he'll be back banging the goals in. But obviously goal scorers always like their names being mentioned, David. It's something that we haven't done for a massive while. So we just quickly go on about Alex Teniano. Obviously, obviously he was at Averley with yourself and he played for me as well.
Great guy.
He's a great guy, and it's a really good signing for Thames. Well, I'm going for that. A really good signing for Phoenix. I spoke to him yesterday. Obviously with Jeff, the forward who scored 9 goals, he's good. He's got a little bit of an injury as well. I think they lost another one, and it's a good signing. It was suit them. He's quick. He's powerful. On his day, he's unplayable, and you know that.
He wears some Larry shirts.
He's got some bad clobber. And he listens to some really bad music as well. But he's one of the nicest lads I think I've met. He's got a great smile as well, and he knows it. He's got his football, and he scored goals. So it'd be a good plus for me. He'd fit in with Phoenix well as well. They're good lads. I think Ash might know him and take him under his wing. I think him and Ashley and Jack Barry might show him the Ice Cube trick. So I think he'll enjoy it.
But I mean, Anybody, is there anybody out there you look at and you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm surprised that he's gone to there," or is there teams out there you feel that might need maybe to pick up one or two?
I ain't going to say they do that, don't they? Especially in our league. I think it's about now that teams do look to try and strengthen. We was talking about it the other day. We're adding to the squad, but we're really settled and we're going quite well. So sometimes you don't want to do it for the sake of it. Also, I think even Terry, I think we spoke about last week, when you're not doing well, sometimes you panic and then you get people in. I think you need people in if you've got injuries, or sometimes you just need to refresh things. Players move on as well, as we know, and clubs come in either from higher leagues if they're doing well, or obviously if they're not, you need to move on. But about times now when you played your 10 games, you get a rough idea where you are in the season, and you start juggling and finding out.
And it is. I mean, some of the boys, some of the teams that are up the top of the table. I know we spoke about tables earlier on, but is there any of them sort of that you look at and think, wow, I didn't, after sort of 9-10 games, I wasn't expecting them to be where they are, sort of plus and minus?
No, as I said, Ashford a little bit because you thought they would do, but I still think they're going to come good. And it's not really, Dave. I think people are where I think that they're going to be, and you get a rough idea. I'm not too sure on the. I think Chipstead have done ever so well in the south east or south central, sorry. But no, and obviously Romford had a great start. Now they're fizzing out, but mid-table with 13 points. I think last year they didn't have 13 points till March, so they've done well. But just going, someone's just come on early before we had all the Thamesmead chat. Aaron Rutter's just gone. Keith, remember Mickey Chapman, the ex-Lowestoft boss? Yeah, I do, mate. I remember him really well. Nice fella. Obviously, yeah, he was always done well there.
Someone's just come in. Let's have a shout for Neil Cugley. Got in non-league football.
Wow.
But of course, as well, he's Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, Neil's doing well, and obviously, Folkestone have had a great result the weekend and are pushing himself up there, and I think they'll be there or thereabouts as well.
Are they one of those sides, though, Folkestone, that not many people sort of talk about, even though after last year they had quite a good year, didn't they? Last year, are they sort of one of those ones that people were not expecting to be back up there again this year?
No, not with the side they've got. And like I said, they're a big club, Dave. They get good support. I'm obviously from Kent, so they've got a big catchment area. Obviously, Folkestone's a big town, so and got a good club. So no, I'm sure that. Well, it's no surprise to me. I thought they'd be right up there. I think they know mid-table, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're on a good run, but only you can look at your level. If you're 4 points off the playoffs, it's so early, and that's why that's the only thing that upsets me a little bit when people look at the bottom of the table. And obviously, we have to mention it because it's part of the show. But let's be honest, even if you're sitting at the bottom with 3 or 4 points, you only need 3 wins, and you're there. So. But yeah, Steve Stock's coming as well. Mickey Collins is doing a great job at Sevenoaks. He is mate in his first year. Always difficult, obviously new, and to come in, it's great.
But then again, the other one that I've seen, there's been a few sort of, should we say, negative tweets I've seen around, and I was quite surprised though after the last 2 or 3 years of what they've done in the last 2 or 3 years. He's Leatherhead. I've seen a few sort of negative tweets fans wise that they're not doing.
Yeah, obviously Alfie's got on Facebook's got a bit. Yeah, it's difficult. They've had. I know Richard Brady, the chairman over there, well. They've had different managers in the last few years. Obviously, they've had Jimmy Bullard, gone on. Obviously, they lost this year. Obviously, they've got Nicky Boyne, who's different. It just takes time to adapt sometimes, and that's what there is no, people just can't come and go, well, we should, you at the ground running. The Premier League's tough as it is anyway, but any level of football takes time, so. I thought they might be doing a bit well, but they lost nearly all their side. They all went to Concord, all the good players, and there's not much you can do about it. Just try and rebuild.
I mean, you look at the teams as well that, I think the favourite with the bookmakers before the season started was Allchurch, and of course they're sort of in 12th. And
that's why they were main favourites. I don't know.
And seeing that they've applied for name change, taking away the A from the AFC Allchurch this week. And then, of course, the other one that, most people, I think, before the season started, would have had them up there in their top 3 or 4 was Kingstonian as well.
That I thought they would do with Lee. I thought, they've got players there that would do it on. But again, they've changed grounds again. When you're not playing at home, it's difficult. Now they've got to go to be fair, I think it's a better journey than Leatherhead going to Greenfield. You know, it's not Tamworth on the A3 ain't far. You know, walk it from their old grand old thing, but it's still. This is what you keep trying to say, and you've got no income. But Kingstonian are a big club and some big sponsors. You know, I know a couple of the directors there too, and they're very nice people, and they'll be there. You know, they'll come good again. Big clubs always do, mate.
And is it the case? We call it up, I suppose, going into that sort of mix-up league, as we call it. But
Jigsaw league.
The Jigsaw League. Yeah, I mean, you know, not surprised to see the likes of Waltham Abbey, Chesson up there, Hayden Yedding up there.
No. Spoke to Craig in the week. You know, he's got a good side. Chesson are going to always be good. Waltham Abbey, obviously, Stimo's a decent manager. Has took most of his side over there. Bracknell we'll know about, huge. Hayden Yedding, massive club. Don't know too much about Marlow. Obviously, Chipstead's the one. Two, like I said, this is what I'm saying. They started poor. A few results, bang. They're sitting themselves just outside the playoffs now. So, you know, we played Hamwell. I was impressed with them. They were strong. So yeah, you know.
Would you say that's probably the art looking at the leagues itself? Say that, you know, at our level, shall we say that with our sides? Would you say that possibly might be the toughest one to maybe try and get out of or get into the playoffs? Because it looks like there's a lot of good sides in. You know, a lot more good sides.
No, Dave, ours is the hardest, mate.
Yeah,
got to be, mate. No, I tell you what, I would say that is the hardest league to be in at the beginning because you don't know many of the sides because you're going all over the place. Sides will come across. So that I would say that is difficult there.
How much, and that league itself, if we sort of say it's sort of like a jigsaw league or whatever else, is that something that the league might possibly look at the end of the year and move a couple to the left, a couple to the right?
Well, it's got to happen, isn't it? It's got to happen because obviously that's what's going to happen with the thing. But I was sitting the other day also thinking about this playoff thing again, and it still don't add up to me because when I was reading over the statement, they were saying like if your points aren't enough anyway, you wouldn't enter the playoffs. Or you wouldn't play the game. The team would get a bye. But what about if you don't enter the play? What about you can't get a bye because the team, like, say the one above you, they've got enough points, so it don't make sense. You can't get a bye and they go through. It's done because the game's still got to go ahead. It's unfair on the other team. That make no sense. Anyway, we've got another message coming in. Richard Green, who is at Greenfield now. I know Richard, and he's gone through the top. He's gone obviously living in Thamesmead for over 30 years. I'm particularly gutted at losing our local club, despite only being involved for about 5 years. When we moved to Dartford, it became inevitable. I felt it never suited to move on, but still had a great relationship with ex-players I see around the scene, and was particularly moved by the outpouring of grief at Peter's funeral. If anything could be done to recreate what we had, count me in. Too many personal faults to air, but the non-league community. But I'm sure all will come out in time. Yeah.
And do you think a lot of people will sort of eventually, you know, come out with their sort of feelings on it, or do you think there's a lot of people that may be a little bit too concerned about being a bit too emotional about actually, you know, giving their thoughts?
No, I don't. Obviously, Albert won't come out and put a statement out. He said what he said on Twitter, and that's him. And
Tommy, would he come out? And
no, Tom. Listen, I've got so much time for Tommy, and he rang me on Saturday because he was getting phone calls going, and this kind of, so when you go to Ramsgate then as manager, and that's unfair on him because all these players were looking going, what's going on? Why haven't you told me this? And as Tom said, he never knew. He knew about a month ago that there was conversations. He said I was talking to Richard, but he never knew this was happening, and I felt for him as well, and he has shown loyalty still, and I credit that, and I've got utmost respect for that. And Tom's he's a top lad. He knows his football. I know he's going to Spain on Wednesday and for a while, and he wants some time out. It's affected him a little bit as well, but no, he won't be making any statements, mate. I know that, but I do. Like I said, I commend his loyalty and what he said, and I portrayed that I've not lied about what he said and right.
And as you say, it must be difficult for him because he's got that situation. Well, 1 minute he's in charge of a football team, and the next minute he's thinking, well, hang on, what's going on here? I'm not in charge of a football team, and it must be really difficult.
It comes as a shock. He knew that there was money. They spoke a little bit about money the week for that to happen like that, it was a massive shock to him. He didn't have an inkling what was going on, which is difficult.
And it's also difficult, I suppose, as well now, because you've got to a stage where there's now 19 teams in that league.
Yeah.
So of course you then get to that situation where, say for instance yourself, you might run a really good run.
Yeah.
You won 3 or 4 on the spin. Your next game's Thamesmead at home, or should have been Thamesmead at home or Thamesmead away. All of a sudden, you ain't got a game. You've then got to sort of look round to get a friendly, or you've got to try and do something.
Yeah.
But it breaks that momentum up from possibly the teams that are going to be going.
Yeah, well, they were our midweek games, so we were going to play them in the New Year midweek. So, but I know Phoenix had them on Boxing Day, and it's hard for the league. And as much as we said about the league thing, how do you deal with this? This isn't a normal thing. I do feel for Kelly and Craig and all the others. It's hard. It's tough. And the main thing is, no one wants to see any football club struggle or go down a pan. None. And you want them to, to basically, and maybe even help. There could have been, when I had the issues with the trust and I was right, I did make a statement and ask for help. And obviously, that never happened. And you would do that. I think other clubs would do it if they needed some. No one's asking a finance keeper to come in. That wasn't what we asked for. We didn't want someone to come in and bail us out for it. That wasn't the case, and that didn't happen while he was there with me. I'm telling you.
Yeah. But it's one of those things as well. You just mentioned Boxing Day. Boxing Day for me is the highlight game of the year. If you're home or you're away. Well, at the moment, with Waverley, it doesn't make a difference because you're going to be in exactly the same place. But but what I'm saying is, it's one of those things you look forward to. That you come in, you have your lunch, you go out to the football. But Phoenix was supposed to be playing them Boxing Day. So now fans, not just fans of Thamesmead, not just fans of Thamesmead, but also fans of Phoenix as well, that are looking forward to a local derby. Bang on that on Boxing Day. The Boxing
also
Day
for the players, mate, as well. What about their players? Well, the ones on contract now, but all of a sudden, gosh, they're in limbo for 3 weeks. Finances, money. All right, they're fine clubs, but they've got to get in. And they were good players. It's just it's a turmoil. Points got to come off and things like that as well. But like I said, all that is easily rectified. What we've just had there from that phone call is never ever going to be rectified.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been I just looked up at the time, and it is 9 o'clock, and a massive thank you for everybody that's participated today. Through tweets and through Facebook messages, etc. A massive thank you to Alan for his phone call and speaking so passionately to me and Keith tonight. Of course, and also to the man to my left who tweeted a couple of times this week. He's a sort of a living legend, and to be honest with you, he spoke with his sheer passion about his old club and about literally the love that he's still got for the people that are there, etc. And we do feel sorry for everybody connected to Thamesmead, and hopefully things can only get better, as they say, but. For everybody else, we look forward to the weekend. Hopefully you get the results and that you want. Of course, you can join myself, Terry and Paul. We'll be back with the review show. That is back on Friday night. So we'll be back down there. And as Keith has already said, I've started off really badly with my results. So there you go. But me and Keith will definitely be back next week. And again, a massive thank you. Don't forget, this will be out on Facebook and Twitter as well, so you can see that. The podcast will be there as well.
Quite nice to have a week without nothing major going on.
Yeah,
Just
that's quite well.
Take that football.
Yeah.
Get some people in about their clubs.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, yeah. But listen, until then, hope you have a great week, get the points in that you want, and me and Keith will see you the same time next Monday. But again, thank you very much for tonight. Good night.